part 4 of Who the Bleep Did I Hand My Health Over To? So I ended the other video by saying that this is not the only thing we found. This was the main thing. This was the thing that we're definitely going to be focused on. And this is the thing that I want to, I'm going to be talking, I'm going to be very vocal about this. I'm going to be hitting the ground running with having people understand how important it is to be on alert for the proton pump inhibitor medications, the PPIs that are prescribed for heartburn. I just want people to take a beat and take a pause. If you've been on these for a long time, because what I found out was, like, when I was going through and watching these videos and reading comments and reading Reddit and going down the line for all of these things, that there are so many people out there saying, I've been on these for years. It says right on the thing that they're not recommended. The longest you should be taking these things is 4 months. 4 months. Some of them even say 2 to 4 weeks. But the longest you're supposed to be on them is 4 months. And people like my mom is not the only one. Like, in my head, I'm like, is this insane? And then the amount of people that have in these comment sections, in these doctors' comment sections, in these functional medicine doctors' comment sections being like, I've been on these for years, I can't get off of them. The reason you can't get off of them is because they make it worse. They're part of the slew of things out there that are given to you knowing that they're gonna make things worse so that you can't get off them. These are those lifetime meds. And the thing about it is number one, I want people to know, I'm telling you right now, you can get off of them. There's a way to get off of them. There's a way to do it naturally. There's a way there's a light at the end of the tunnel. You absolutely can. And I'm helping her do it right now. And if I'm going to get into that at the end as well, because I want people to know that this is possible. Like, you don't want to quit, just out of nowhere, because it's going to wreak havoc on the body. Like, you've just totally messed up your GI tract. You've totally, it's been pushing acid down in places that it shouldn't be. Like, it's made everything out of balance. And so, of course, when you try to come off of it, there's a firestorm of even worse heartburn you've ever had. It's horrible acid reflux. It does damage to the esophagus. People are getting hiatal hernias. Like, it causes a lot of problems. And so you go, oh, this is the only relief I get. It's not. Okay, so there's light at the end of the tunnel. You can wean yourself off of these things, and you can heal yourself. You can get your body back into functioning properly. And then also, you're not going to have all these crazy side effects that could potentially throw you into poor metabolic health or create, an autoimmune disease. I mean, I wouldn't wish lupus on anybody. My mom has had it for most of my life. And, it sucks when you know somebody who has an autoimmune illness, because it's just, you feel like it's like their fate. But now, knowing what we know now, it's like, wow, we got a lot of work ahead of us, so, but I just want people to know I'm doing these videos because I want to empower people to look into these things, and also, let them know that, you don't have to do this. And there is light at the end of the tunnel. And I, encourage people to do whatever they can to not take these things and to get off these things, and even say something to their doctor. Because, it's, to me, it's just, there's a risk reward thing, right? Like, I am all for, I'm a risk reward person. Does this weigh out? And to me, the risk is way higher than the reward, okay? If the reward's higher, by all means, take it. It's going to help you out. Go nuts. But this is not it. This is not it. This is not it. This is not the vibe, okay? We're not doing it. 2025, we're not doing the PPIs. Let's just go ahead and do that, okay? It's not cutesy. We're done. Because I can assure you there's so many people out there who are suffering just as much as my mom has been. And I don't want that for people. I do not want that suffering. And, if we can do whatever we can on our own to make sure we don't suffer that way, then we should. But the proof is in the pudding here. The proof is in the writing. It's in black and white. You can find it yourself. I'm going to continue to post about these things. my mind is so blown about about this that I have to say something about it. I also want to talk about, I think, like I said in the last video, about how many other medications that she was put on that have adverse reactions to each other. So much so that even when I went to fill her prescriptions, and luckily I did, because it prompted me, it said on the website, it said, basically, are you sure you want to take these because you have another medication? It says, are you planning on taking this one because this one interacts with this one? So I denied 2 of those because I'm like, I'm not even dealing with this. And then when I got them home and I started doing all the research on them, every single one of them, like, I think there was probably 4 for sure that completely interacted with the other, that they said, if you are taking this, absolutely do not take this. And they were prescribed together. So what are we doing here? And I'm like, do you even need this? And she's like, I don't think so. I don't know what it is. I'm like, what? If you don't know what it is, then why is it here? Like, what is it for? And these were coming from, the regular doctor and from the emergency room. And, it's so overwhelming and confusing. And I just encourage people to do these deep dives, even though they kind of say not to. They're like, don't get too far down the rabbit hole and play doctor for yourself. But it's like, why not? Like, if all of these things are being prescribed like this, like, we need to know what we're putting into our bodies. We need to make sure that we're taking care of ourselves and we're actually trying to heal ourselves instead of making everything worse. And this is what I know has been happening with my mom. I know that there's been different things that clearly, if she's not reading this main one, then she's definitely not reading everything else. And when I tell you that there was only 2 medications that had those pamphlets on it, the other medications didn't. I had to make the effort to look them up and go down the deep dives to see what they were and what their side effects were. If I hadn't done that, she probably would have just kind of popped them, because why wouldn't you? This is what they gave you. This is what they did. They ran tests and stuff, and this is what they say that you need. So why would you not trust that? And, and it's not that I don't trust, some things a lot of the time, but a lot of the times, like, in these situations, I'm skeptical. It's a little sus, you know what I'm saying? So I just want to make sure she's okay, and I want to make sure that she knows what's going into her body, because when she's having all of these things happen to her, there's these firestorms of side effects. The brain fog that she has is crazy. The dehydration, the pain that she feels, the joint pain, the heart racing, the irregular blood pressure, and then now these like really serious side effects that she's been having. I'm like, I'm sorry, but we have to change it up and make sure that we're not taking too many things that are either, that are causing problems for you, or if you're interacting with other things, making things worse. And the amount, I want to go through and like deep dive into what they are. I don't know that like a lot of I don't know that this platform will let me, because I'll, to post very specific prescriptions and stuff, but I'm going to do my best, because I want to piece it all together so that people can see, what these are. Because I think a lot of people really do just kind of trust the system, and they go, okay, well, if they say I need it, I need it. Like, I don't know how to read my own labs, and I don't know what this means, but if they say I need this, why should I think anything different? So, this is, honestly, I'm glad the pharmacy, did a little warning to me. It did a little pop-up, which I'm glad that it did, because at least there's some checks and balances somewhere. But I just want people to know that, if you're on a bunch of medications, and especially these one particular ones, you really have to be your own advocate, or find somebody to be an advocate for you if you're having this brain fog, because that's a whole nother layer of an issue that we could talk about. So cut to part 5, and we will dive into some more things, and kind of the good side of everything that's coming out of this.